Second. Okay, guys, now this is the workshop series, week 5, and today's topic is sustainable building materials. And we have 4 organizers today. Bekari, Aralim, Nurlan, and Martins are the organizers, and they are going to teach us and train us on this topic. Okay, guys, stage is yours. Please feel free to start anytime.
Hello, the audience. The topic of our today's presentation is sustainable building materials, and the organizers are me, Aralim, Bekaris, and Martins. Next slide, please. So the content of today's presentation is Sustainable Building Materials Introduction, BREEAM, LEED, Green Glove certifications, and the conclusion with comparison of these 3 certification systems. Next slide, please. Sustainable building materials are the materials which are eco-friendly during its extraction, refining, and manufacturing, according to Sekeli. And the meaning of a sustainable material is that causes is insignificant effect on the environment while its operation. So choosing sustainable building material is a complex task for designers and engineers, according to Halada and Kibert. The reason why for that is that diversity of building materials leads to complicated evaluation of these different types of materials. Next slide, please. So sustainable building materials mostly evaluated by the following things. For example, locally available and sourced, recyclable materials, recycled content, durability, and resource-friendly manufacturing. For example, bamboo, straw bales, papercrete, alternative concrete, and wool. Yes. Let's start with BREEAM certification. Here in BREEAM, we have 6 categories. Mainly, the first one is life cycle impact, in which reductions in the building's environment life cycle impacts through assessment of the main building elements. The second one is hard landscaping and boundary protection, in which reductions in the environmental life cycle impacts through assessment of the hard landscaping and boundary protection elements. The third one is responsible materials, materials sourced in accordance with a sustainable procurement plan. Building materials are responsibly sourced to reduce environmental and socio-economic impacts. The fourth is insulation, in which recognition of the use of thermal insulation, which has a low embodied environmental impact relative to its thermal properties. The fifth one is designing for durability and resilience. You can simply impress your audience and add a unique thing. And the last one is material efficiency. Opportunities and measures have been identified and taken to optimize the use of materials. Next slide, please. Yes, the first one is life cycle impact, in which the aim is to recognize and encourage the use of construction materials with a low environmental impact, including embodied carbon over the full life cycle of the building. There are 2 ways of assessment using green guide to specification. One credit in which you have to firstly register in a B Group website, and you can freely use it for evaluation of environmental impact of your building. And the second one is using compliant lifecycle assessment software tools, 2 credits. In our case, we will focus mostly on multi-residential buildings, in which element types assessed external walls, windows, roof, upper floor slab, internal walls, floor finishes, and coverings. Next slide, please. The second one in BREEAM is hard landscaping and boundary protection. The aim is to recognize and encourage the specification of materials for boundary protection and external hard surfaces that have a low environmental impact, taking into account of the full life cycle of materials used. In this category, at least 80% of hard landscaping and the boundary protection should have A and A plus rating defined in Green Guide specification, which you can see in the table. And this evaluation you can find in the previous website, which I have shown you in the previous slide. The next slide, please. The third one is responsible sourcing of materials. Here, the first step is to identify all the location use categories in the building, and for each one, identify the materials used. It will be necessary to break down complex components into constituent materials and assess them separately. For example, break windows down into frames and glazing. Accordingly, RSM credits will be assigned for the percentage of available responsible resource materials points achieved. In the next slide, you can see the example of assessment by the responsible sourcing of materials. So here for each material, there is an associated responsible sourcing certification point score. The calculation is the following. First, establishing the average RSCS point score for each material in the same location use category, then selecting the location use category with the lowest average RSCS point score for each material, awarding responsible sourcing in materials points based on lowest average point score, and assigning BREEAM RSM credits based on the percentage of available points achieved using the allocations in the table below. Next slide, please. Insulation. In the insulation part, the aim is to calculate the insulation index, which is the sum of the Green Guide rating corrected values for all insulating elements is divided by the sum of the volume weighted thermal resistance values. For example, there are main categories in this insulation which should be assessed. The first is walls, in which here you can see the example how it is calculated, and according to Green Guide rating, the walls here will obtain 2 points and the A guide rating. Then in the next slide, you can see yes, the second, third, and fourth category, mainly building services, roof and ground floor, and all of them have similar procedure of calculation, and the points for Green Guide is assigned for all each of them, and then total volume weighted thermal resistance was obtained, and Green Guide rating correction was obtained, and we have all the data to calculate insulation index, and here we calculated insulation index, and so the next slide, please. The next one is designing for durability and resilience. The aim of this subsection is building incorporates suitable durability and protection measures, designed future solutions to prevent damage or to vulnerable parts of the internal and external buildings and landscaping elements. This must include mostly protection from effects of high pedestrian traffic in main entrances, public areas, and thoroughfares, and secondly, protection against any internal vehicular trolley movement with 1 meter of the internal building fabric in storage, delivery, corridor, and kitchen areas. And lastly, protection against or prevention from any potential vehicular collision where vehicular parking and maneuvering occurs within 1 meter of the external building facade for all car parking areas and within 2 meters for all delivery areas. The next one, please. Yes, the last one is material efficiency. The aim is to recognize and encourage measures to optimize material efficiency in order to minimize environmental impact of material use and waste. So here, mainly, design construction team in consultation with the relevant parties at each of the following stage is conducted. The first one is preparation and brief. The second one is concept design. The third one is development design. The fourth is technical design, and lastly, construction. And now my colleague will continue. Vikaris will tell about LEED certification system.
Hello, everyone. And let's talk about leadership in energy and environmental design, or LEED certification. Here we considered the latest version number 4, which is updated in 2019. Here we can see the checklist, project checklist for new construction or major renovation. We write here the project name and date. Here we can see also categories from previous workshop, but this week we will focus on categories that called materials and resources. Here we can see that this section has 2 prerequisites and 5 credits. With the total possible points 13. And as you know that prerequisite is compulsory, it is not a criteria, it's requirement, and to be assessed by LEED, it has to have, for example, storage and collection of recyclables. It is to reduce the waste that is generated by building and by the inhabitants of this residential house. And the second prerequisite is construction and demolition waste management. As we know that waste management is one of the main requirements in modern houses, and LEED also considered this as a main factor. And then we can see the 5 criteria. Here we wrote the name of them and the intent. And also we added some more strategies and more information in a separate Excel spreadsheet. There are more information how to assess the building by LEED certification. And here we can see that the most contribution, the more points has a credit called building life cycle impact reduction with a maximum point of 5. And let's see the prerequisites. The first one, the storage and collection of recyclables. As you see in the pictures, residential house have to have the special cans or bins to sort the exposures of some waste materials by their nature. For example, some separate for plastic, for organic materials, and etc. The next requirement is to build some construction and demolition waste management. It's mostly in construction process, and it's one of the most important requirements for the builders. And we can see that the plan can be conducted during the construction or after, and also before the construction began. And let's continue with green globes.
Okay, hello, good afternoon. Yeah, so I'll be taking us through the green globe section for this workshop. As you could see on your screen, the green globe has a total of 1,000 points, and I'll be taking us through the material and resource section, which has a total of 125 points. To refresh your memory, the green globe has a 4 rating system. That's 1 globe for 35 to 55%, and 2 globe for 55 to 69%. Then we have 3 globes for 70 to 84%, and 4 globes for 85 to 100%. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. Sorry, can you go back? Okay, yeah, so the next slide, sorry, I skipped something. Okay, there are no major prerequisites to pursue the Green Globe certification. Instead, Green Globe is the only certification that provides early feedback on your process because it helps you make this critical decision, even from your design process through your construction and moving in. So the eligible buildings must be designed for occupancy, must have conditioned space. It should have been occupied no longer than 18 months. This means Green Globe helps from like 0 years or 0 days, that's doing design, construction stage, to occupancy, no longer than 18 months. That's help check out all the prerequisites and conditions for the certification. Can you hear me?
Yes, Martin, we can hear you, but the volume, it can be a little bit louder, please.
Okay, because I saw Professor's message about sound. What about now?
Yeah, now it's better. Now it's good.
It's very
Yeah.
good.
Okay. There are no prerequisites like I started with. Green Globe happens to be the only certification or rating system that provides an early feedback on your process, even before you make your final decision. So it starts from the design process up to construction and early occupancy. So you could see that eligible buildings must be designed for occupancy and have conditioned space. So from this table, you could see we have 10 major indicators: the building core and shell, the interior fit out, reuse of existing structures, waste, building service life, resource conservation, building envelopes, and everything, totaling, giving us a total of 125 points. Next slide. Yeah, so I'll be looking at the building core and shell. The building core and shell happens to be like the external part of the building. So what does Green Globe expect? The Green Globe is saying they have a specific estimator, which is used for life cycle assessments. It's called the Athena Impact Estimator. So they have version 4.2 or the later version. So they are telling you, like I said earlier, Green Globe helps during the design stage up to construction and post-construction. So it's telling you that you need to have a minimum of two alternatives to choose from. So you will be using the Athena Impact Estimator to check from your list of design alternatives to see the one that has the least environmental impact. So it helps you to choose even from your design stage, like having 2, 3, or 4 different building designs. So it helps you check. The Athena Impact Estimator helps you check. Not just the Athena Impact Estimator, you can make use of other software like the Gabi software, the Simpro, and CMCLA. Next slide. Yeah, so the next point is the interior fit out. That's what happens to be inside the interior part of the building. So the same thing that happens to the building core happens to the interior. So why selecting design for your interior, the impact tool also helps you check from a list. So you must have at least 2 minimum designs which you have to select from. So you check the one that has the least environmental impact to select from, and the maximum point, and the maximum point for that is 16 points. So the next major thing is the reuse of existing structures, because for Green Globe basically focuses on the sustainability check of environmental impact, and it evaluates benefit of different design. So for the reuse of existing structures, Green Globe wants to know if you can make use of facade, structural element, and non-element from existing structures. Can you make use of them in your new construction process? So if you can, we have varying indicators under the facades, the structural systems, and non-structural elements. If you can, so you take the indicators and the points are awarded. So if I'm building a new structure and I could make use of some facades or some beams or some columns or some non-structural element from an existing structure. So you've met some criteria of sustainability according to Green Globe. Next slide. So waste. So Green Globe also help evaluate the waste, construction waste, like it's talking about what percentage of construction waste from during your construction process can be used for landfills, like so that it doesn't just go into waste. What percentage could be used for landfills, reclamation, and the like, and what percentage of your building waste can be used even for construction. So that's the waste section. And you have your building service life plan. So it checks if you have a service life plan for your building. What is the estimate for your building life, the structural system, the mechanical and electrical plumbing system. So this also goes into the maintenance of all the systems. Yeah, so we also have an indicator called resource conservation. So this helps to check how you minimize use of raw materials. That's like making use of old materials also during your construction. And we have the multifunctional assemblies, like having fittings or tools, or should I call them tools, or having appliances in your homes that could serve multiple functions, like multifunctional assemblies. Like we used to have this light well within a building, so it helps send light into the house and it helps bring air into the house. So like multifunctional assemblies. And it also checks how you could disconstruct your building. Like if you're having a precast part of the building, can you disconstruct it rather than demolishing it if you no longer need that assembly in your building again? And the next thing here is talking about the building envelope, the roofing type and everything. So this is just to ensure that the roofing, the flashings, the wall opening all meet the industry standard. And the major standard for Green Globe is the ASTM, that's the America Standard testing for materials. Yeah, so to check if your roofing material meets the best industry practices and standard. So under this, you have a total of 10 points. So the envelope, foundation, on waterproofing, this category basically talks about how well you've done your foundation against waterproofing, against water seepage and capillary action. So it's checking the waterproofing characteristics of your foundation. And here the cladding and the barriers, like what barriers do you have against air or wind during turbulent times or periods. So that's all for Green Globe. So in conclusion, we could see that BREEAM has a total of 45 points, while 6 points is assigned for material and sustainable material, while it has a total of 110 points and a total of 13 points awarded for sustainable material, while Green Globe has 1,000 points and 125 points. From these, we can all see that they have a range of 11.82% to 13.5%, which happens to be their standard deviation is not much. So they equally award about the same percentage for in all the certification system for sustainable materials. Thank you. Any question?
Thank you very much for the presentation. It seems that you have already evaluated 3 systems, and the fourth one is on the other members, Nurlan. It seems that Nurlan is not able to speak. Anyway, get well soon, Nurlan. He got a health problem at the moment. So yeah, this is less than requirement, but anyway, it was a good presentation. Thank you very much. You did your job. Okay, guys, it is a little bit short, but it seems that they have conducted their delivery. So do you have any questions in your mind? Becker, are you going to
Yes.
add something?
If students don't have question, we also prepared a quiz
Kahoot game.
for this topic.
Okay.
I
Okay.
just wanted to ask, will
Yes,
be
Bobby.
will be there today Kahoot game or not?
Yes, you are looking for it. I know that. You and Alexi, you are like lions looking for a game to hunt it. Okay, guys.
Okay, I'm launching it. Here's the pin.
Today I have bad connection, so guys, you have opportunity to win.
Yes, there are a total of 10 questions. So it will be a quick race.
Who is FK?
It's me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Someone left. I think we can start.
Guys, please join the game. We have
Can you wait a minute?
18 people.
Or let's wait if you want. We are
12,
not in-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are still need to get 4 students. Bakari, keep announcing.
Quiz. Join the quiz. There's only 7 people.
Internet connection is a bit.
Not so hard.
This is the problem. What I am thinking that some students are not here. I mean, they are just turning on their Zoom session and not listening the presentations. It is a problem, maybe, I don't know. But anyway,
Maybe they have bad connection.
yeah, you're optimistic, but I'm not thinking in that way. Okay, almost there. It seems that we have only 10 people. Oh, Ilyas is here too.
Yeah, I think we can start.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to wait for others.
Yes. They are not responding. I cannot read it. Do you read it?
Yeah.
We cannot read it.
We can.
Can you see the questions or answers?
I don't know, but it seems that there is some problem with the delay because when I see the question, it says that the time is over already.
Yes, even I don't see the question now.
Do you see the answers? I may read the question.
I can see question and answers. And do you have any problems?
Yes, there is a dark line. I see it.
I think it's not. It doesn't cover important things. You can just ignore it.
Okay, I
please
see
have
that.
it
I
higher?
see that there is no way to use the Kahoot from the phone, so it seems that it's better to use a laptop or something.
I'm using the Kahoot from the laptop, and the same problem. It's badly working.
Okay, let's wait.
I think it's problem with the Kahoot, not with your internet connection, probably.
A dark line disappeared for fortunate.
Okay, let's continue. So guys, is it okay now? Can you see everything?
Alexei?
I just randomly choose the red one, and I finally get the points. I mean, for me, I'm using a phone, so it's hard to use a phone in a Kahoot. It seems. I just realized it, so sorry.
Because you cannot pre-read.
Yes, I can't see the question in the Kahoot page, so I need to switch between the Zoom and the Kahoot.
Okay. MR means materials and resources. Nothing new. It's the last question.
Botagöz, you will not enter anymore. Come on.
Okay.
You are beating everybody all the time.
Congratulations.
Who is this QWERTY? One of the
It's,
trainers?
it's me.
Fariza, good. Actually, I was thinking to use the QWERTY name, which is what then I decided to use my initials. Okay, Alexei, how was it?
It was okay, but it seems
Without
that my
seeing the
internet
questions.
connection was. It
Even-
seems that my internet connection was really, really low.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know
But you
what
were
was.
okay without seeing the questions, okay? Yeah. even. So the difficulty on the code game is this time I had also problems. I couldn't see some of the questions in the earlier part. Anyway, it is not your fault, the trainers. It happens because of the technology. Sometimes it was anyway. It's entertaining.
Thank you for participation.
Thank you for the efforts. I think we are done for today. Guys, do you have any question for the presenters or anything at all?
Not today.
Okay, Daniel.
Then let's meet in the workshop next time.
Okay, so
Thank you.
we are going to have the roundtable discussion on Thursday. Okay, you are going to organize and you are going to swap between the groups and you will help them. And in the meantime, please send us guys, what do you need? How do you call it? Do you need a kind of guidance or something? A kind of
Yes.
summary of the...
It's almost done. We'll share it.
Okay, please share it with everybody, okay? And then Even you can do it on the day, okay, while we are doing the training, the work roundtable, sorry. And it seems that we are done for today. And I will see you on Thursday again. Let's conduct our round meeting on Thursday. And by the way, I am just announcing that the workshop organizers for workshop 4s, the organizers, you are supposed to send me a consolidated manual and an assessment form, okay? Could you please do it as soon as possible? You have time, don't worry. You can do it until Wednesday night. It is the time given for you. And
Okay.
okay. Okay, do you have something to add, please? Aralim, are you going to say something?
No, I was the organizer of the workshop for
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. And even Aralim, I need the presentation, okay?
Should we send it like all together at Wednesday, or
It is possible. It is possible. I am going to upload them on Moodle for the future reference. Okay, that's why we need it. Okay. But you can send everything together. You can send everything together. It is fine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you guys, and see you on next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Professor. Bye.